Hey guys, hope you're well. I am here in Memphis outside of the federal courthouse, and I want to give you a key update on Lisa Findley. That is the woman who tried to scam Graceland, tried to foreclose Graceland away from the Presley family, away from Riley. As you probably already know, what happened is that Lisa Findley, through this company that she made up, this fake investment company, Nasty Investments, they claimed that they gave a $3.8 million loan to Lisa Marie Presley, and she hadn't paid that back, and they even said they had a deed specifically that officially confirmed this loan. Now, the person who was supposed to notarize it testified in court later on that she had never been contacted, and this approval, the signature on the deed, was in fact fraudulent, and that there was no such loan, nothing of that sort happened whatsoever. So then Lisa Findley, the person who created this fake investment company and who said that Graceland needs to be foreclosed on, and what she did is she legally, you have to announce in some sort of media source and give some sort of notice that you're foreclosing or that you're making this move. So she submitted it into a rarely read paper that was very basic, a print paper, hoping that nobody would see it and nobody would catch on. Luckily, people did, and in the subsequent court case, the notary testified again that it was not her signature. So what happened today? Lisa Findley had the gumption, the guts, to actually try to go to trial. So I drove about 12 hours, covering a lot of different stuff, to actually cover the trial. That's what I thought I'd be doing today. Well, it looks like Findley will enter a plea after all. After all this rigmarole, after all this effort, after her saying that she wanted to go to trial, her attorney asked for a later date, so I knew already then there probably wasn't going to be trial, and the attorney remarked that is because she is expected to enter a plea. Initially, Findley is looking at 40 years in jail for a myriad of charges. One includes mail fraud, and another is identity theft. So she was looking at 40 years. Perhaps she could get less with a plea. We'll see. But it's an interesting case, and there was a little bit of back and forth. The attorney, the person representing the government, is quite new. So maybe they thought, or maybe Findley's attorney initially thought that perhaps he was relatively new. He was a clerk before, so he has only been a full attorney for about a year. His name is Aaron Hendricks, Hendricks with no D. Perhaps the attorney for Findley thought that he might have been a lightweight, and why not try to actually go ahead and do a trial? Perhaps Hendricks has been effective in the interim to actually get the attorney to try to change the course of action for his client. And this is why I say that perhaps Hendricks being effective might have been the reason that Findley is deciding to change her plea and is deciding not to go to trial. Because even though this guy has been an attorney for no more than a year, what Hendricks did say is he did an extreme amount of research, and he remarked that he had 54,000 pages of evidence already. 54,000 pages. So I think he came strong. I think he came prepared. And obviously the attorney would see, even the time before trial, what potential evidence, or at least how much evidence, the other side would have. And perhaps they looked at Hendricks doing his research with 54,000 pages and thought that this would be a Herculean task. And so it looks like, I would say, a 95% chance. You could always change your plea. A 95% chance there is no trial. Remember, this all rests on the $3.8 million loan that Nasty Investments, the fake company through Lisa Findley, said was owed to them by Lisa Marie Presley, and which was fictitious, and because of that, and because of her death and not being able to get paid back, they were entitled to Graceland, and they had that deed, which the notary was ruled to be fictitious, as was the power over and the power to have that deed. So there says there needs to be some ample time to analyze more things on the lab, analyze signatures, analyze different details about the various fraud aspects that Findley has committed. And it's a little disappointing that there is no trial, because the scam stuff is fascinating. And you kind of do want to learn, what was the impetus for Findley to try to get away with this? What was she thinking? Was it as simple as she didn't think anybody would check this rarely read newspaper and she'd be able to get away with this? And perhaps she thought that she has the talent for it. It should be remarked that from 2000 until I think about 2015, Findley has had a history of fraud in obtaining tens of thousands of dollars in bank loans, as well as being prosecuted for Social Security identity theft. So she has a history of doing this. This is all we know about Lisa Findley. Of course, she's from Kimberly, Missouri, so a different neck of the woods, but and she initially appeared at the U.S. court in Missouri, but they decided to transfer it to the Memphis jurisdiction. So that's the disappointing part. In the trial, you learn about their backstory, you learn about why do they do this. You even try to hear their defense, as weak as it might be. And it might still exist. There still might be a trial, but I would say, again, a 95% chance there will not be. Here's the good news for all the Elvis fans. I'm also an Elvis fan, like me. It looks like even though she won't get the 40 years that she deserves, because she'd get a higher sentence if there was an actual trial, is then you have the guts to try to go to trial, so you create more work for the prosecuting team. But my guess is Findley, if she pleads, would absolutely be looking at jail time. You don't knock 40 years down to probation. My guess is that it would be knocked to maybe 10 to 15 years. So with good behavior, she could get out in probably 7 to 8. So I would say, at a bare minimum, with everything that is going as is happening now, Findley should at least get a bare minimum of 6 years in jail, would be my guess. So that's what happened, man. I thought there was going to be a full trial. That is not the case. But at least we know everything, that Nasty Investments was fictitious. This loan never existed. Riley did a very effective job in pursuing charges, going forward with everything, and also in catching this newspaper notice. So she was able to stop the foreclosure. Remember, if Riley did not, or Riley's team did not catch the foreclosure in the newspaper, it's entirely possible it would have been too late, and Findley could have absconded with the money. Perhaps she could have gotten that money. Nobody would have known. She could have gone to a different country, and that might have been it. So very effective in Riley's situation for being vigilant about this and making sure that's not what happened. Now, of course, there's an estate battle. I'll give a report on that in Orlando. That is the same day as this case right now. So that's also an interesting one. If you guys want me to do a video on that, do let me know. And let me know if you want me to show up on January 15th. Let me double check that date just so I don't lead anybody astray. January 15th at 9:30 a.m. If you want me to show up, let me know. Maybe it's not that relevant, because it's the only thing that's happening really is Findley would make a plea, and then any of the press that gives out that information, you would be able to find that information. It wouldn't be if I would go, because if there's a 4-hour-long trial, you want that juicy bits of information. If that's not the situation, it might not be worth it. But if you guys are enjoying this and you kind of want more of a personal touch and more of a detailed description versus the 30-second, 1-minute local news soundbite, let me know, and I will be there for you on January 15th to show up. And it could be a momentous day, simply because we might actually know how many years she'll get in jail and what will happen. If you do want me to go, let me know and leave a comment. And if you want to donate and help out with that, no pressure, but my links are in the description. But yeah, it looks like, again, Findley reversing course. It looks like she's looking at jail time. And then, guys, also tell me if you want me to head out to Orlando. There's some preliminary stuff happening today, but I think the trial will be later on. In the estate with the estate situation with Riley Keough. So let me know if you want me to do that, but please do subscribe and maybe leave a comment if you want me to go January 15th. Maybe I'll see you January 15th, maybe I won't. And for anybody else who's a fan of the other stuff, good news, no more politics. I covered a lot of the political stuff, lost some subscribers, gained a lot of new ones as well, so got a general gain versus loss. But God, people hate when you talk about politics. The good news is really not much more politics. I will be heading for Henri's trial, which I think is the 6th, and Josiah's trial, which is the 18th. But I might have it flipped. It might be Josiah's trial on the 6th, and then Henri's trial on the 18th. But regardless, I will be at both trials, so you will get more Scientology trial coverage. I know all of you guys missed that. So hope you were okay with the little break, but we'll be revving up strongly with a lot more content in the next coming month. So appreciate everything, guys, and thank you for your interest. And for everybody who's a fan of Elvis, thank you for watching my last video, and thank you for investing with him and with my coverage, so you also had a hand in protecting that estate and protecting his legacy. So I think I am off. I planned here to be tomorrow for the next trial day. Now I just have the time off. So if you want to do a little live stream, I think it might be fun to visit Graceland and do some touristy stuff and eat that same peanut butter and banana sandwich that Elvis ate at that restaurant. I believe it was in Midtown, Memphis. Maybe we could do a little fun live stream. So let me know if you'd be interested again in that. And again, let me know if you want me to come on January 15th. And if you do, and there's a good consensus, I will be there on January 15th. But thank you all for your interest, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.